Here is our Lizard flare. It's a roadside emergency flare. It does require 3 AAA batteries that are not included. I purchased this for right around 15 bucks, but you can buy a 6-pack for 60, so you save a little bit of money there. And the company does recommend that you get 6 of these for maximum safety. Let's do a quick unboxing. Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. And as you saw, we are looking at a new product called the Lizard flare. It's an emergency roadside flare that's battery operated. You know what? Enough talk. Let's get right into this review. Here we are unboxed. Of course, on the top you can see our on-off light. There's some LEDs here and also some that go all the way around. On the back we have a magnet and then of course this cool hook if we want to hook this up onto anything to hold it in place. Behind these 2 screws is going to be where our batteries go. We'll do that in just a minute. Let's get a quick measurement. You can see at the widest point going all the way across, we're almost 4 inches and we're just about 1.25 inches tall. All right, so we loosen our batteries all the way and then the top here, ooh, my magnet got stuck. The top here and here, there are some tabs that we're just going to pop open. And then we should be able to release the back to reveal where our batteries go. And that reminds me, this does not have the batteries included. What are we gonna do? In comes our battery daddy. And look how many batteries are missing. I've used so many, but I do have some AAA batteries left. So as I'm putting the batteries in, I do notice that there is a rubber gasket or seal that goes all the way around, which is good because they give us an IP65 weather rating, which means you can get it wet, but you cannot submerge it. Back into place, aligning this up, getting that ready, and tightening down our screws so we can officially turn on our Lizard flare. All right, we put our batteries in and we're ready to use this for the very first time. I see from the directions we have 9 different modes and that was pretty impressive. Now I've not used this yet, but when I've used these type of things, they have flashing lights. So if you have sensitivity to that, this is a warning. Let's start to see what these look like. If we push the on-off button once, it's supposed to do a triple flash and then stop and then triple flash again. Of course, it'll keep doing that until the batteries run out. Then we have the second button. It's a dual flash, very similar, except it's 2 flashes then off and on. And then a third time, it's the single flash. If we hit the button a 4th time, of course, it just rotates around. Look how cool that is. And hitting it number 5, it's the alternating blinking as it goes back and forth. The 6th time, it's the SOS rescue. Very cool. Now let's hit it a 7th time, and that's going to be on high, all the lights until the batteries run out. On 8th time, it's low until all the lights run out. The 9th time, this flashlight's going to light up. Let's turn it away. And then of course, if I hit it 10 times, it shuts it off all together. Now we're gonna see how long this light will actually stay on and what it looks like over time. I have fresh batteries in and we're ready to go. And I guess you can argue this could be just as much the battery test as it is the light, but we'll see what happens over time. Here we are at the 3-hour mark and I wasn't sure what I was expecting, but it's still lit up and it still looks as bright as it did when I started. Let's turn the lights off here in the room. You can definitely see there's still a lot of light coming even after 3 hours. Not a whole lot has changed here at the 4-hour mark. It does look like it's a little dimmer and that's just probably the battery is getting weaker and that makes complete sense. But you know what? I just went and rewatched the infomercial and they ran over this with a fire truck and it was 30 tons. Well, I don't have a 30-ton fire truck, but I do have something else. Let's take this outside real fast. I have an 11-ton camper that's looking forward to running over the Lizard flare. Here goes nothing. Wow, did you hear that crack? Except for being dirty, it looks okay. Does it turn back on? It sure does. So I brought this back in to continue the test and I was just looking at it up close and look what I saw. 2 of the lights no longer light up. So I guess that 11-ton camper did do a number on this thing. I came to check in on this during my 5-hour check-in and look, well, it's not on anymore. So it didn't last as long as I thought it would, but then again, I did run over it with the camper. Let's see if there's any more battery and maybe it just shut off. I guess it had a little bit of juice left, but not a whole lot. Here's one that has a fresh batteries put in there and it's definitely a difference. Now, it didn't last as long as I thought it would, but at least it lasted longer than 30 minutes. That's pretty cool. You know what else I'm wondering? How come this didn't come with like an internal battery that you could just recharge? That would make this thing move to the next level, possibly on the Lizard Flare 2.0, but That, to me, would be awesome. All right, now that we've tested this out, it is time for the moment of truth. Let's actually take it outside and put it to action. Of course, if you've been observant, you've noticed back here, I have some emergency flare lights, and these are legit flares. We're gonna test the brightness to see which one is actually brighter. Let's go outside. Advertisers claim that you can see the lizard flare up to a mile away. Well, that there is about 200 feet away. You see that little tiny speck? Yes, you do see it. It looks bright here. I only have one running. Like I said, they recommend 6. Although you might be able to see these a mile away, it's not very effective unless you're relatively close. In my opinion, you're going to be using these more to warn off drivers than to maybe signal someone a mile away. So for this point, I think it actually does pretty good. I thought it'd be interesting to test the lizard flare against, well, an actual flare. So here's a lizard flare. Here is an actual flare. Which one looks brighter to you? I will say that this type of flare lasts for about 15 minutes before it's done, and I think the lizard flare, depending on your batteries, can last up to 6 hours. Another cool feature about the lizard flare is the magnet. Of course, you can see the side of my car is now lit up by my atomic beam sunblast and as seen on TV solar light that I reviewed not that long ago, but check this out. Any metal surface, you can attach your lizard flare. How cool. They do warn you not to drag this across your paint because it'll scratch, but to pull it right off to avoid making any damage. Cool thing about the lizard flare is I can actually take a look at my engine at night if I need to make a repair and hang up the light to let me have a hands-free view. That is pretty sweet. Of course, I think it's important to note that the magnet won't stick to my hood right here. That's kind of disappointing, but I can use the hook. Let's talk a little bit about the flashlight. You can see that it illuminates a pretty good area, but you definitely have an intense beam in the middle. I can look out about 20 to 30 feet without real issue. All right, so here it is with no light on. Now let's turn our lizard flare on. And as you can see, yeah, there's that light shining down there, making sure we can see where we're going. Long after the road flare has gone out, the lizard flare is still rolling. So tell me, what are your thoughts of the lizard flare? Is this something that you've used? Would you need them? Are they better than regular flares? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. I was filming my video for the lizard flare and I heard some noise, and what popped up? The Landroid's out mowing. How funny is that? In this video, we are talking about the as seen on TV lizard flare. So what did I think of it? First things first, let's talk about price. If you buy one, they're $15 each, but if you buy a 6-pack, they range around $10 each because that's 60 bucks. In my opinion, just buying one for $15 is kind of a lot of money. Even buying 2 for $30. If you're gonna end up getting these, go for the full 6 for $60 because you end up saving a good bit of money. In doing the testing, I actually came to the conclusion that, you know what, the lizard flares are actually a pretty decent item. They work longer than regular flares. You don't have to deal with fire. Plus, there's multiple uses. Simply that flashlight on the top is pretty cool. All in all, they really hold up and last a long time unless you run over them with your camper, because then they break. I wasn't really that disappointed with the length of time I was able to get these to work with regular batteries, because realistically they lasted far longer than a typical flare would last. However, I'm just not sure why these do not have an internal rechargeable battery. That would take these lizard flares right to the next level. All in all, it is a pretty decent product, and I'm definitely a proponent of being prepared so you could be safe. And so if this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. I don't know why it became a thing for us to test our products after freezing them, but we'll see you tomorrow. We just took this out of the freezer. It's been in there for over 24 hours. Let's see if it still works. Oh wow, that is bright. It still works after being frozen. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the lizard flare. You know what? Not that long ago, I actually reviewed a car battery jump starter, and it's called the Foxspeed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link that review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you at that review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.